When you think of famous makes of piano, you think of... That's right. So when a pianist is called a Steinway artist, you know the true measure of their talent. Joining the likes of Rachmaninoff, Liszt and Wagner, South African musician Charl du Plessis is now one of those artists. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why.
Charl du Plessis is the fifth and youngest South African in history to join a roll of honor that acknowledges celebrated pianists throughout the world. He is one of the most successful cross-platform performers in the country. His Piano Man disc alone topped SA's classic FM charts for over 40 weeks. Tatum Keshwa met up with Charl in Pretoria.
You clearly are a versatile performer. How do you bring insight and truth to your range?
It's very important. I'm one of the few pianists who play classical, jazz, pop, rock, all of the genres. So I try to, when I approach a classical piece, to do it as authentically as I can, as any classical performer in the world would. And I try to make something as beautiful as you.
He's not only an artist who fills concert halls, but lecture theatres too. He studied at the University of Pretoria and, while finishing a doctorate, has taught a new generation over the past 6 years.
You've been very instrumental in aiding the development of young musicians.
Yes, I feel it's very important to try and give back. You know, I've had the experience of learning so much from both the classical and jazz sides that I try and train young musicians who can work in both these genres. And that's also where the work with my trio comes in. We play extensively trying to bridge the divide between jazz and classics. You know, people don't have to see them as opposites or enemies. They're actually good friends.
And speaking of good friends, Charl has a long-standing on-stage partnership with one of South Africa's other mega success stories, Nathaniel.
You guys have worked together for the last 11 years, doing over 90 concerts a year.
I'm a creature of habit. In my entire career of nearly 200 years, I've only worked with 3 accompanists. And Charl is the one I think of all the lot that got me the best. Charl understands what I do. And he's just as neurotic as I am about detail.
And the money's too good to leave.
Yeah, the money's, I pay very well. Pay because it's mostly danger pay.
When you set your heart on a creative direction, the best way forward is one bold step at a time. For young Charl, it was plucking up the courage to ask for an autograph.
A million years ago, I was performing in Bloemfontein. And then in my dressing room, the strangest little boy walked in, a schoolboy with the strangest hair, but confident, with a program for me to sign and a CD. Yeah. My previous accompanist was there and he walked out and I said to him, you know, that boy's just as strange as me. You'll have to be famous one day to cope with life.
Way back when I walked into the dressing room, I never imagined working for him one day, but now it's been quite a journey.
Charl also performs around the world with many different musical partners. The thread connecting Bach, Chopin, Scott Joplin and Billy Joel is a piano.
When I was little, this instrument just drew me in, so I would sit and play a little bit, you know, one note at a time. And later on, when I started lessons, things kind of blossomed into being more of a chord and not just one note.
His advice to parents who may have a potential musician in the family is nurture that talent.
Lots of parents are weary when the children say, Dad or Mum, we want to go and do music for a living. But I think South Africa is incredible with the scope of the kind of music you can do and make a good living. So for young people out there, I'd say really follow your passion, follow your dreams, go. Don't let anybody stop you. Tatum, I don't think you can leave without getting a piano lesson from a pro. So how about taking an old piece and jazzing it up?
As a dedicated teacher, Charl du Plessis inspires. As a celebrated artist, he gives back tenfold. It's the secret to success of a world-class performer.